Alright, so we are going to learn how to identify and use various problem-solving strategies. And some of those strategies are find a pattern, make a table, work backward, guessing and checking, drawing a picture, make a list, write a number sentence, and then some are just logical reasoning. Now for this, you can use all of these strategies on the ACT. Okay? And the first thing I would do is decode the question. Decoding the question, you read the question, that makes sense, circle what you want to circle, and then ask yourself, what is the question asking me? 2, pick a strategy to solve. Pick a strategy to solve. Okay. And then list it. So whatever strategy you pick, it doesn't have to be the same for every person. Just write down what strategy did you use. Did you use find a pattern? Did you use make a table? Did you use work backwards? And I will be looking for that on the homework. 3, solve. Solve the problem. Be sure to show your work. This is the first assignment that I will definitely be looking for work. Unless it's logical reasoning and it's something very simple. But either way, once you solve it and show your work, state the answer in complete sentence. And sometimes doing that helps you understand or realize that is the answer I came up with accurate or not. So like if you say 3.4 people, well you can't have 4 per person. So maybe you round that down to 3 or round that up to 4. Alright, so the first. Finding a pattern. This is inductive reasoning. Okay, we're not going to spend that much time on it. But you would say, well, first decode the question. Carol has written a number pattern that begins with 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. That's important. If she continues this pattern, what are the next 4 numbers? And decoding the question, circle the key direction verbs, underline what's important. Really, it doesn't have to be that way. Just underline and circle what you feel is important. Okay. So all we needed to know, Carol, we'll write her name in a sentence later, but we needed to know the sequence, and then what are they asking me? The next 4 numbers. So I decoded the question. My strategy, I'm going to pick find a pattern. So in your homework you'll put strategy, find a pattern. I'm not going to do that since it's already listed. So what is the pattern? Plus 2, good. What'd you say next? Plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. Now, is it showing work? Yeah, I can see that you clearly understand that it's plus 2, plus 4, plus 5. So, what are the next 4 numbers? 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. And they're asking what are the next 4 numbers. Well, by the pattern Christina identified, using inductive reasoning, I would add, so this is plus 5, so next would be plus 6, right? And 15 plus 6 is 21. And then I'll add 7, which is 28. And then I'll add 8, which is 36. And then I'll add 9, which is 45. So, I know my answer. So I decoded the question, I picked a strategy, I identified it as find a pattern, I solved the problem. This counts as showing work. Now, state the answer in a complete sentence. I would say the next 4 numbers are the next 4 numbers in Carol's pattern (21, 28, 36, and 45). So I did all 4 steps. Please make sure you do all 4 steps on the test. Again, make sure you list the strategy. This one's just find a pattern. Next, the strategy, making a table. Table doesn't have to look a specific way. A table is an organization of data. So this is a table. Sometimes tables have more than one column. What I usually do is a head each side of the table. It's going to look something like that, but every table is different. So first, decode the question. I like to read it and then underline. You have $3 on Monday. Okay, I think that's important. I'm going to circle it. Each day after that, you save twice as much as the day before. If this pattern continues, how much do you save on Saturday? So looking at this, decoding the question, I have $3 on Monday. How much do I have on Tuesday? I'm going to save, instead of $3, I'm going to save twice as much, $6, right? And they want me to count up to Saturday. So I decoded the question. My strategy, I'm going to make a table. Table, we'll let this be days of the week. Make it a little bigger. You guys know the song for days of the week? You guys remember that? Monday, then it's Tuesday. My daughters are always singing that. Now, money saved. We'll let the other one be money saved. And again, we're starting on Monday, doing this, and we're going to work our way to Saturday. Wednesday. Wednesday's always the one that's kind of weird for me. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday is what? Sábado? Is that right? Saturday? Sábado? Now, you could draw lines this way to help you stay organized if you want. But looking at this, $3 on Monday, and we said Tuesday is twice as much as the day before. Day before Tuesday is Monday, so that would now be $6. Wednesday, she saved twice as much as the day before. Day before she had 6, so now it would be 12. Thursday, saved twice as much as she did the day before. The day before Thursday is Wednesday, so that would be 24. Friday, she saved twice as much as the day before, so that would be 48. Saturday, she saved twice as much as the day before. The day before, she saved 48. 48 times 2, that's what twice means, 96. Now, we have to read the question again. Are they asking the total amount saved or just the amount saved on Saturday? Looks like the question is, how much money will you save on Saturday? So it doesn't say total. So I would say on Saturday, and it says you save, so now you can talk about me. On Saturday, I will have saved $96. And I'll give that money to Mr. Parks for schools or Kleenex. Also, if you box in your answer, or even better, I really like kids, especially on a test, when they take a highlighter, they like highlight their answer, or put a box around it. It really does help me grade it and makes it where I'm less likely to not see your answer. Okay. Any questions on making a table? Like I make a table for my bills, and I have the paychecks this way, horizontally, and vertically I have things I need to pay. And so I use the table all the time to keep myself organized so that I pay my bills on time. So not everyone uses the table. Some people use checkbooks. That's fine. I use the table. I love tables. Okay? And working backward, that's where you go from the answer back to where we started. When we were doing that puzzle, I don't think I have a copy of it, but the golf puzzle where you start and you go from the end to the beginning, that's called working backward. So we have Jack, and Jack, there's a lot of stuff in here to read. I'm just going to read it first. Jack walked from Santa Clara to Palo Alto. It took 1 hour, 25 minutes to walk from Santa Clara to Los Altos. Then it took 25 minutes to walk from Los Altos to Palo Alto. He arrived in Palo Alto at 2:45 p.m. At what time did he leave Santa Clara? How many places are we talking about? Let me go through. We have Santa Clara. We have Palo Alto. Santa Clara again. And then we have Los Altos, right? And then we talk about Los Altos again. Then we talk about Palo Alto. And then we talk about Palo Alto. So we're talking, and then Santa Clara. So there's a lot of words in there, but it's only 3 places, correct? Next, important information would be time. We have 1 hour and 25 minutes. Here, this is 25 minutes. And here it is full time, 2:45. This key word is leave. So you arrived at 2:45. What time did you leave? You leave before you arrive, so we're going to have to work backwards. So, I like to draw a picture. One, Santa Clara. Let's say this is Santa Clara. And he walks. So he's walking that way. Okay, and he arrives at Palo Alto. He was walking this way, right? Walking from Santa Clara to Palo Alto, and we found that that takes 1 hour 25 minutes. approximately an hour and a half. Next. I need to change this. It's an hour and 20 minutes to walk from Santa Clara to Los Altos. So this should actually be Los Altos. And sometimes that happens when you're doing a problem and you jump too fast, okay? So an hour and 25 minutes from Santa Clara to Los Altos. Then it took 25 minutes to walk from Los Altos to Palo Alto. We'll say Palo Alto's right here. So now we're still walking. We're walking this way. And it says that took them 25 minutes. And his arrival time in Palo Alto was 2:45 p.m. Good thing he wasn't walking that early in the morning. That's not very safe. So what time did he leave Santa Clara? So I'm trying to work backwards. Trying to get from Palo Alto back to... Well, maybe you didn't even need a picture. Maybe you could have just said 2:45 minus 25 minutes. Right? That'll get you back to Los Altos. Minus an hour 25 minutes, right? And let's go ahead and do part of it at a time. So 2:45 minus 25 minutes would be what? Yeah, 2:20 when school gets out. So now this is 2:20. So now we're going to work backwards again to go from 2 minus an hour and 25 minutes. Ooh, that's so confusing. So I'm going to just take off an hour and 20 minutes first, and then another 5 minutes. So an hour 20 minutes, that would put me at 1 o'clock, correct? And if you take 1 o'clock minus the 5 minutes I didn't take off yet, that put me at what, 12:55? And we're still PM. Looks like you skipped school, left before 2:20 to walk, right? So, we could, I don't know how much room. Jack left Santa Clara at 12:55 p.m. Notice I see work. I see that I listed my strategy, working backward. I could read what's going on. And on a test, if you have your work, I could kind of help you out and go, hey, you accidentally said 2:20 minus an hour 25 minutes, and you got 11:55. Let me help you explain why it's 12:55. But if all you do is put an answer, it can't help you much. Any questions on those three strategies? Finding a pattern, making a table, or working backwards? Next. Guessing and checking. And this is one of my favorite strategies for ACT. You could sit there and you could solve every single problem mathematically. Good for you. However, that takes more time. Guessing and checking is the best option usually on the ACT. First, read the question. Amy and Judy, those are the subjects of my sentence. They sold 12 show tickets altogether. Okay, so they sold 12 tickets. That could mean 1 and 11, 2 and 10, 3 and 9. Or maybe one of them sold them all and the other one didn't. Amy sold 2 more tickets than Judy. So how many tickets did each girl sell? Well, Let's go through the options. So Amy sold 2 more than Judy. So what if Judy was, I'm going to make a table even though this is guessing, okay? What if Judy is 0? What would Amy be? Amy, let's decode. They sold 12 tickets altogether. Amy sold 2 more than Judy. And our question is, how many tickets did each girl sell? And again, I know your strategy says what to do where. I don't really care for this class. Just underline what you think is important, circle what you want. So if Amy sold 2 more than Judy, that would be 2. However, 0 plus 2 is 2. And we want 12. So that didn't work. So 0 is not a good guess, but that was the lowest it could be. Christina, what would you guess, Judy?